Welcome back, everybody, to another Welcome to the J podcast episode. I'm your host, Jahenns Manigat, aka 12, aka Canadian Red Bull. Make sure to like and subscribe to the Philly 68 Media Network, where you can see content such as this, different former players representative of their alma maters, talking a whole lot of college basketball. I'm here with a very special guest on season 2. He's the 12th guest, and you guys know how much 12 is an important number to me. It's the second time stepping. Yes, go. It's the second time stepping into the J with me. He was my point guard for 3 of my 4 years at the Hilltop. He was also my point guard for the TBT Omaha Blue Crew team this past summer. He's easily one of the coolest cats to ever wear a Blue Jay uniform. He is big money, large cash, grande dinero, Austin Chatman, the pride of the colony, Texas. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Government.
Yes,
government.
Sir. Yep.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I know I was the 12th guest. That's big for you too. Congrats.
Bro, I appreciate you obviously taking a little bit of time out to talk to me. How you been doing, man? How you holding up?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Can't complain. Life, smacks you, but just growing and learning, honestly. So it's been fun. Body's getting healthy, so doing well.
Growing and learning, bro. That's all we can do. You already know what it is. We got a few things that we definitely have to talk about. We're definitely gonna get into some shit. But first and foremost, we gotta talk a little Blue Jay basketball. Last time we saw him, not the outcome we were looking for. Lost 75-41 on the road at Nova. We had seen the same team previously beat Nova at home by 20. I know you're a big fan of the Jays, as all of us alumni are. We always tap back in and watch as many games as we can. Did you have a chance to watch that game? And if you did, what were some of the things that you saw go wrong for the Jays on the road in Philly?
I wasn't so much tapped into that game. I saw it here and there. I didn't watch the full game. But I would say it's still a young team. You're on the road 1, 2, so they're gonna have a little bit of struggles. I don't think Hawkins, as he usually would, could study the shit, and that's kind of like his job and kind of like why he's been so instrumental for him. Guys just kind of played up and down. I think missing Sharif too is kind of a killer right now too. Just kind of putting a wrench in things. So they'll bounce back though, man. They're a young team, had a big win, Marquette, big win against Nova at home. So it's like, home. So whatever, that'll counterbalance. But I think they got a lot of potential, man. They're just young,
I think,
as we know, you gotta get some of those war wounds, bro. And then honestly, you build from there.
I think if you ask any Creighton fans, if we went 1-1 versus Nova on a yearly basis, they would definitely take that top position. So like you said, in the grand scheme of things, we beat them at home. They beat us at their place, 1-1 as the season moves on. You mentioned Hawkins. He really, 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 really struggled in this game. He didn't score a single bucket in this game. And like you said, he has been the guy who, as a fifth-year senior, a guy that's transferred in, who's had a lot of success at the Division II level, has really, carried on that leadership. He's been the leader for the Jays, especially in these tough environments. How instrumental have you seen him be for the Jays, especially like you said, in those moments where things go awry? He's usually the guy to be able to right the ship.
He's usually that motor, man. He makes sure cool heads prevail usually. He's just kind of the extension of Mac, Nembhard being a younger guard is still trying to figure out what Mac wants, of course. Usually the point guard kind of is that coach outside, between those squares, but he kind of keeps the ship steady, man. I just like his game. He kind of gives you what you need when you need it. He knows when you need what you need, if that makes sense. When you need to stop, he knows these guys need to stop. When you need a big bucket, he knows that. He knows when to attack. He knows when guys are in the bonus. So he's a real heady player. I like him, honestly. And I think he's the reason. I do, man. I love him. I think he's a big part of their success, really.
You mentioned Nembhard. We definitely got to talk about him. You were a point guard for the Jays. Since you've been at the Hilltop, Coach Mack has recruited Maurice Watson, Marcus Zagorowski, and now he's found a gem in Ryan Nembhard. What is it, do you think it is about Coach Mack that he's able to find these guys who he knows exactly how he wants his offense to be ran? He's able to find the guys who he sees has the potential to do it. You were his very first point guard recruit. I don't know if you realize that or not. And he gave you the keys to the office essentially your sophomore year moving on. So what do you think it is about Coach Mack and his relationship with point guards that attracts such good players such as yourself to Creighton?
I think it's a testament, honestly, first, just kind of to the history of Creighton. You know, they've kind of had a steady point guard over time, going all the way back, you know, Dotzler, guys before him. I don't know if you put Funk in that category, but Antoine. And then from there, you know, he kind of just built this certain mold, which, you know, the point guard's kind of got to be the leader of the team, right? So he kind of predicted off this mold, and now, you know, guys keep getting better and better at a higher level. And it's amazing to see too, especially coming straight out of high school. So yeah,
straight out of high school and a Canadian, you know, I love that.
Of course.
What have you seen? What have you seen in Nembhard's game?
I love Nembhard.
Sometimes, like, as fast as he is when he gets that outlet, it reminds me sometimes of how quickly you would get the ball up the court. Obviously, back then we had a 35-second shot clock. These guys are working with 30 now. But you would get the ball up the court with like 33 seconds left for us to operate our offense, where we could literally run 2 sets if we had to.
What are some of the similarities? Marcus, hold on. What number was my man Marcus?
Zegarowski?
Yeah.
11.
11. Okay. So I think he's honestly like a mix between me and Marcus, honestly. And he's just like a perfect mold. And he's just so patient, you know, wise beyond his ears, you know, and usually people that younger are sped up, you know, the game's one another notch faster. And he just has to have great tempo and understands the game, man. And I think that comes from playing. Didn't he play on a national team in Canada?
Yeah, he played on the Canadian under 19.
Right. And so he's just been playing with older guys longer, and it shows. It shows.
Mm-hmm. He is certainly wise beyond his years.
He's composed. Sure. Yeah, composure is
super composed. I like this hybrid of you and Zegarowski. I think Zegarowski was just the epitome of like patience as a point guard, but obviously not nearly as quick as you and Ryan are. But I definitely see some of those things that you're talking about.
He's got the eyes of WAP too. I'll say that. He's got the eyes of WAP. You know, he could toss it. That's for sure.
I play with Maurice out here in Poland. Maurice has vision that I don't even know what he sees or when he sees it, but he sees it.
Yeah,
he sees it and he just kind of goes with it.
And I mean, that's testament to his game too, you know.
Before we move on to our next topic, let me tell you guys a little bit about our partners over at BetRivers Sportsbook. If you haven't signed up yet with BetRivers, now's the time, because they're offering a $250 match bonus for your first deposit. But what sets them apart is that they require just one playthrough to turn your bonus into cash money. With their new Rush Pay instant approval, withdrawing your winnings is safer, more secure, and more reliable. With basketball season tipping off, get in on the action by going to betrivers.com today or by downloading the BetRivers iOS app. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call telephone number 1-800-GAMBLER. Definitely got to talk about the fact that COVID has taken its toll on the season already early on in the Big East schedule. Things were kind of smooth sailing until we got into the Big East schedule, where there was no cancellation of games or postponement of games. And then we have the game against DePaul being postponed. We just had this game against Providence be postponed. Unfortunately, this is just something that we're going to have to live with. Obviously, we want players to be as safe as possible. But there is one thing that's for sure. When the Jays were kind of, getting their feet back under them, they beat Nova at home by 20. They can't really ride that wave of momentum going into their next game at DePaul because it is canceled. They're able to regroup, go at Marquette on the road and win. And then once again, another cancellation before they have to play Villanova on the road, where obviously we talked about it earlier in the podcast, where they got beat pretty badly. Now you have another cancellation against Providence. This lack of building momentum, which, as you know, you've played on these great Creighton teams. When you win 1, 2, 3 games, that momentum can really ride you into the season. And next thing you know, you're fighting off 3, 4, 5 games in a row, strictly off of how good a team feels. The fact that the boys are not going to get that as the year is going on, how do you think that's going to affect their play down the line?
It's just like anything, man. And I think we've seen it how, going testament all the way to the bubble in the NBA. And just kind of like the overseas, it's just kind of how spotty the games have been over the past like 2 years, man. It's hard to catch a rhythm. Basketball's a game of runs. If you're not in there consistently too, in that rhythm, it's hard to simulate that. You can practice all you want, scrimmage all you want. But until you actually get in that setting and that feeling, the adrenaline and all this, it's just a whole different feeling. But like I said, it's just going to be a testament to Ryan Hawkins and like Mac, and those older guys. Like Sharif still is being somewhat of a assistant coach over there, right? And kind of trying to steer those guys in the right direction. So it's just kind of going to be like more of the senior leadership, I think. Man, Hawkins kind of just trying to keep those guys steady and consistent at it and just working at it really at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, it'll come to fruition and the balls will bounce and everybody will eventually hopefully get to play here soon, but we'll see what happens.
You mentioned how difficult it is to simulate that in practice settings. No matter how many drills or how many scrimmages that you have in practice, it's very hard to simulate that game-like atmosphere. But I'm just going to put you in Coach Mac's shoes here. If you are Coach Mac, what are some of the things that you're trying to build on in a practice setting that whenever game day comes, whenever that'll be, that the boys will be ready no matter who the opponent is?
He is, man. Like everything's going to be sharp to a T. All the I's are going to be dotted, all the T's across. It's just still sharpening the tools, right? Like they're still young, right? Like, so you're still going to have to be working on the basics still. But just still make sure you're getting good sweats, honestly, and getting good run, good bump, but also rest. Rest is important, and I always think that was something that back in the old age, I guess we considered the OGs now, and like in the day, like rest still even before us, though rest just wasn't something that was essential, and that's something that like I pride myself on more than actually hitting it too hard, because honestly, if I'm well rested, you probably play better.
For real though. For real though. Yeah. I remember he used to have us jump into the ice baths and stuff, like just to make sure that we were good to go. And then obviously giving the guys who are playing heavy minutes adequate rest. You still feel that's the recipe for success, right?
Oh, heads and beds. Absolutely. Oh, you know it. Old school.
Heads and beds, bro.
You know it.
This team is still a young team. Sharif is still not available. We hope that he'll come back, as soon as possible. How do you think his, lack of availability has hurt the Jays? I've always said that, especially on the defensive end, they're missing another shutdown guy on the wing that could really help him out. But speak more about his absence and how it's hurt the Jays.
I think it's been like a double-edged sword, right? One, Mac knew he had this super young team, a lot of new guys coming in. So it's made a lot of other guys step up, right? And that's what we saw at the beginning of the year as well. And that's, they got off to a great start, had to take on new roles. But also, I think they're missing a key part where in certain games, he would have been able to steady certain ships, turnovers wouldn't have maybe got to certain places of where they gotten. Which I think is a lot of reasons why they lose certain, some of these games is just taking care of the ball, And with Sharif, I think he could add to that a little bit and help deflate a little of those TOs.
As we're recording this podcast right now, the boys are 10-4. We've seen the entire spectrum from them losing questionable games like Arizona State to blowing teams out like they did against Nova. I'm just going to give you a scale of 0 to 10. What's your optimism for this team moving forward? And give me reasons why, obviously.
I guess what's this whole spectrum here? 0 to 10
I'm saying
what?
Like, what do they
do? Like is 10 winning a national championship? Or what do you think?
10 is like Sweet 16-ish, right? Which is where they got to last year. And everything else, I mean, you could just kind of fall below that. Maybe.
I'm like not one to try to make those predictions, especially when I don't have any play, in the whole situation. But it just, I'm not too sure on the timetable on Sharif either. I think that has a little bit of play too, or say. I'll keep it on the conservative side. I'd say like a 7.5, honestly. and I think they're eager, right? Like they haven't been on the stage yet. They're young. That's why they probably did come out with so much energy. And I think, we will probably see 7.5 to maybe, if they're playing great, you can see a 9.5, I think, but that's just everything clicking right. And like luck is involved with some of that too. So yeah, you could see a 9.5, but I would say 7.3.
I was gonna make it easier for you. I was about to ask simply, is this an NCAA tournament team?
I believe so. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I believe the Big East is pretty deep as far as the teams go. And just from their preseason and just kind of, this is kind of, I think one of the first years they, played pretty tough talent throughout majority of the preseason. So
is this one of the better or more talented teams that you've seen MAC put together? Because
at the bottom in recruiting class.
Yeah.
I know we did have one of the best recruiting classes. But yeah, top to bottom, yes, I would say as far as 1 through even the walk-ons, or everybody, it's great competition. I think I haven't been live to a game yet, but I have seen practices and even the walk-ons, it's great competition, and the red shirts is, everybody's competing. So that's what you kind of want from everybody, and everybody, shooting for a shot.
So basically all this team really needs is, to build consistency. We'd love to see it, because I think obviously them being young and not having that playing experience with one another, there's going to be days where you're like, man, what are those guys doing out there? But because they're so talented, that they overcompensate with some of those things with their talent. So, it's going to be interesting to see if they're able to build some of that consistency going down the stretch as the Big East season, unravels before our very eyes.
And I think that's something though that Mac's going to have to just let play out, right? Like they're super young, right? So like a lot of that, you just kind of have to let the ranks go and let them make mistakes. And if you lose games, you lose games. That's, that's fine. But next year, then okay.
Next year. I've been saying
it's a trophy. That's a trophy.
If this team stays together.
Yeah, that's a trophy. I don't know if Hawkins can get back and be on the Grant Gibbs wave and do the whole, but yeah, to build the statue. Yeah.
You and I had a chance to reunite, so to speak, this summer. We played in the basketball tournament, TBT, for the Omaha Blue Crew, the Creighton representative of the TBT. I'm not going to lie, bro. I was having a blast out there with you. What do you remember about, obviously participating this past summer and this upcoming summer? Omaha's got a bid. We're going to be a host site, a host region. What are you looking forward to for this upcoming summer?
Man, just actually having our fans, I think there would actually probably make it, super enjoyable and a time to remember. It brought back just old memories as well. And it was just fun to get out there and compete too. Like a lot of guys are off in the summer and just want some time to get some actual organized basketball. And it's hard to find that sometimes when you come back and, are in the off-season training. So it was just kind of good to get that bump and get up and down too as well. And I think we had a great showing, honestly, for the first year to be able to do what we did, the team that we managed. So, I'm super excited. Hope people come out and see, the Canadian Red Bull. Absolutely.
Hey.
Because, hopefully he's knocking them down.
There's a...
Like I pass it only for you to shoot it. It's not for you to put it down. It's not like I pass shoot the thing,
I hear you.
Right.
Your nickname is Big Money. There's a lot of big money at stake, $1 million that is shared throughout the team if we're able to win it. So, Creighton fans' participation is certainly going to be something that we're looking forward to. And we haven't experienced it since graduation. So is that one of the things that you're really looking forward to, is just to see how many people are going to be interested and to show up at DJ Sokol Arena?
I'm more excited, honestly, for to see some of the, if we could pull in some new guys, some young guys, some younger faces, or even just, some actual Bluejays that people haven't seen in a while. That's kind of what I'm excited about, because it really wasn't more about us. At the end of the day, this is kind of had a bigger goal really in mind, and it was kind of playing for a bigger picture too. And Josh honestly went a lot of it is a way to do a lot to get this done. And really, my dad and him had a conversation, really, and it was one of these wildest things. And Josh he basically was like, I just had this conversation with Josh, there's gonna be a whole TBT thing, coming here soon. I would really love you play it and blah, blah, blah. I know your mother would love it, right? And I was like, that you telling me you would love me to play in it, or is that, so it was just this whole thing. So it was just, how much was taken away from Josh as well. So it's just kind of a bigger picture here, man, and it's just a bigger goal, and it's just not so much, the cash involved are in mind, but like at the end of the day, you take it one game at a time, right? Like, and that's why I say I don't like to make these predictions, but take one game at a time. I like my chances really with anybody.
I like that you brought up, maybe if we get the influx of some of the younger graduate Jays who have just come out, or, some faces that the fans haven't seen in a little while. I'm going to put you on the spot here. If you had a chance to have your Creighton dream team participate in TBT, who would you have on the roster? You got to give me at least 9
It depends,
names.
man, because, we got to get contractual and all this and what people are allowed to do. And, people are still in careers and all this. So, yeah, it depends. What is that? What are the stipulations? I guess you're telling me.
The stipulations is guys who are not on NBA contracts right now. Okay. So basically, essentially, all the overseas guys who are in the G League are also,
they're available.
So are available. G League guys are available.
Free agents. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll go Tolliver. I'll go Corver just to be able to be a sharper, just be there like, oh, you could be 12th guy. I know you don't want to play anymore, but we could just toss just go ahead and get quick 5. I know you can knock in 15 real quick. Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. I'd say my guy Reynolds, man, Wayne Reynolds. He's like coming to a game. Grossell, I'd love to see Grossell, bro. I think the people would love to see Grossell. Echenike for sure.
For sure. Big G, 100%.
Jefferson, I'd love to see Damian, honestly, just depending on, how his whole thing works out. Mitch, I think the people would love to see Mitch. Absolutely. Yeah. Let's see. I feel like I'm missing some people, man.
Bro, I thought you were going to say Marcus. I thought you Texas boys stick together. Marcus
Foster.
I thought I was
absolutely. Sure. But I just know where his head is. I would love to see Marcus. I would love to see my boy Ronnie, honestly. I know he didn't finish out, but I would love to see Ronnie. I would love to see Leon too. Leon is a perfect TBT player, honestly. Leon Gilmore is a perfect TBT player.
Hey, Ronnie's out here in Israel killing.
Yeah. No, I'm super proud of that dude, man. I'm super proud of that dude. He grew up a lot.
Bro, you named a whole roster. I could
$1 million easy. Like easy.
Bro,
we might as well go ahead and bring the A to Omaha.
Now. Hey, let's start sending out these recruiting letters. We got to start recruiting you and I, Austin, at the front of the newsletter. Just recruited.
That's fine. I think we got somebody for that.
Yeah, no, I know. We gotta get Michael Van.
No, he did too much. We got to make his life easier this go around.
So who are we bringing back? Joel? Collins? Who's going to be doing all of this?
Then we could find somebody for admin. That's easy money. We can do that.
Let's get Joel back in the frame, bro. Let's get him to write those letters.
I met Joel. Yeah, Joel's on the music scene, thriving. I love it.
Thriving.
Yeah.
The next time that we're going to see the Jays play is this Saturday, obviously pending
hopefully, right?
COVID situations, right? Against Xavier. We already talked about how they need to get a bounce back victory from what they suffered against Villanova. On the road at Cincinnati, we both know not the easiest place to play. Xavier, a top 25 team. We talked about the turnovers. We talked about how good the Jays can be and all that stuff. But in your mind, what's it going to take for them to get a tough road win in the Big East?
I think it's going to be similar to that Marquette game, right? That's any Big East game. Like it could be, number one, or it could be the very bottom of the pack. I think we saw that too when we came in those 2 years. Like I think DePaul was at the bottom of the pack, but every time we were in there, too, you're going to get that best shot. And two, they're knowing where Creighton is, right? So like you're gonna get their best shot too, as well. They still think we're soft, right? So like you still gonna get that shot, man. So just is what it is. But I think they're prepared, right? They haven't played. They're itching. Like I said, like they were supposed to play the past couple of games, and they keep getting postponed. So I think they're gonna come out just like as D-Rock would say, with that edge, right?
Shout out to D-Rock doing a great job at Drake right now. Shout out to Tucker DeVries, our guy.
Shout out to my boy.
Yeah, we're gonna need a big bounce back game from Hawkins. Do you expect him to be super aggressive coming out the gates, knowing that he didn't play too well at Nova?
I don't think so, man. I just think they're all gonna be playing their games. I think they're gonna be in the gym enough to now they're comfortable, right? Watch enough film, had enough time to prepare. They know what to do, right? Like it's in the first go around. I don't think he should be out there hunting shots, right? Like that's probably not the way to go about it, but he seems like a player that has let the game come to him, and usually that works for him the best, right? So I'm assuming that's probably what he's going to do. Yeah, there'll be some drawed up for him for sure, to try to get him going, but he's always just kind of knows the right times to, put his imprint on the game.
One Blue Jay that I've been, waiting to see him do some crazy. He's had a lot of hype. He's the number one recruit we've ever had, Arthur Kaluma. I've been waiting to see, what he can do. I know how much talent is there. His game he's got a bag. He knows how to do a whole bunch of different things. And plus his athleticism really helps him out. But for whatever reason, not everything has clicked for him this year. Austin, I need you to put your coach hat back on. If you're a coach, what are some of the things that you're working on him with and helping him out on the practice floor that is going to translate onto the game floor where we're finally going to see his potential be fulfilled?
I just think he has to grow through some things, right? Like I spoke to earlier, the game's a little bit faster. Granted, it's not too much faster. He's plays at a pretty high level. And like you said, he has a lot of tools. I just think he has to slow down. That's usually what everybody has to do, right? Like you slow down half a millisecond. The game changes like exponentially. And that's probably what he really needs to do is just slow down a little bit, right? Like he's trying to, testament to what you thought Hawkins should do, being too aggressive. I think sometimes he forces it too much, right? And you just got to let the game come to you naturally sometimes. And then you can put your imprint on the game once okay, I'm in rhythm, I got it rolling. There we go. Or if not, go get an easy one, right? Like sometimes he still has that young head of gonna take a tough shot, maybe take a tough midi, right? Take a tough three. So yeah, I just think he just gotta sometimes let the game come to him, man, and maybe get fouled once, get to the right, get to the free throw line, see one go through. What happens with you once you see one go through? Once you see one go through, for me, like I might things open.
That bucket is big as hell.
It looks like that. It looks like I can just throw it up there. I'll just throw it at that thing right there. It's orange. Right. Okay.
Bro, I have a question I need to ask you. For the entirety of our friendship, I don't think I quite understood why this has happened, but I need you to tell the world, who's your favorite NFL team?
The Eagles.
And they snuck into the playoffs this year somehow, some way. But here's a question
somehow, some way. Wait. All right, back up. Let the people know too who your favorite team is, real quick, just so they know.
I think everybody who saw my story last weekend felt my pain when I took off my Colts jersey and threw it on the ground.
Beauty Colts fan, folks.
Bro, but here's my question. A guy from the Colony, Texas, is an Eagles fan and not a Cowboys fan. I don't know why I never bothered to ask you that question, but why is that?
So I moved to Philly in like 8th grade. Summer of my 7th grade, moved there for a year. I was a big Michael Vick fan. Honestly, I played football and I was honestly better at football than I was at basketball. So I played quarterback. So I was a big Michael Vick fan, McNabb fan, Deshaun Jackson fan. Love Andy Reid. So I'm kind of, secondary Chiefs fan. But just growing up in Dallas too, none of really my family was any Cowboys fan. Dad was a Dolphins fan, mom's like a Steelers fan.
Wow.
Yeah, but like growing up in Dallas, I mean, it's similar to here, and I guess it's kind of why I fell in love here too. Is the fans, like the love that you get is impeccable, but like in Dallas, it's hard to deal with. Those fans every year, right? Is their year. Every
Obnoxious ass fans.
Every year. But I love it. America's team, do what they do. Jerry Jones, great businessman. But yeah, just not a Cowboys fan.
Anyways, I'm glad that I finally got, the reasoning behind all of that. But how do you think they're gonna fare? I think they played the Bucks, right? If I'm not mistaken. How do you think they're gonna do?
The boys? Who? Eagles or Cowboys?
No, the Eagles. I think they played the Bucks, right?
I think Hurts is still figuring out his way, right?
Yeah.
Now he's kind of, now they're kind of giving him a little more reins and a little more confidence too, which as a player, like you need that confidence from management, coaches, whatever. So it instills that trust, and it just kind of gives you that ability to go out there and play free. And that's kind of what he's doing. But Tom Brady, I don't care how you feel about the man, but it's kind of the same way like LeBron James. I don't care about how you feel about the man, but greatness is greatness. And consistency is consistency. And, stats speak for themselves.
Well, hey, at least you have a chance today. My boys are already in Cancun right now. 1, 2, 3, Cancun.
Yeah, well, they're getting one more extra check. So, fight to the end, though. They're a fight.
They better fight to the end. You know what? I'll be on your camp this weekend, bro. I'm cheering for the Eagles for sure. And Tom Brady being a Patriot.
Hopefully everybody is. Hopefully we get enough of that energy that it flips over there in Vegas.
Yeah, I have personal hatred for Tom Brady because he killed our Colts so often that I just can't even look at him anymore. So right. I'm gonna cheer for you this weekend. We'll see how that goes, though. One last question, I gotta ask you, bro. We've seen some snippets, a couple of pictures pop up on the gram. You modeling for the Martin Digman clothing line. Shout out to Avery doing some big things over there for him and his father's company, Thriving. A big word that you've used earlier, thriving, Mm-hmm. So when are we going to see the full photo shoot, everything that you had to model for the Martin Digman clothing company?
I know you remember that old traditional line, man, always something light for the kids. But no, they just they got a great organization over there, man. Great company there on something great, growing at, exponential numbers. Mm-hmm. I don't know when I can give you all that. You just kind of, that's why I say keep you on your toes so you see it. And then it's like, oh, that's how original content, right? Like you're waiting for it. Like you can't just, but no, it's coming here soon, man. Got some great stuff on the way. Great content on the way. Great products too. Go check them out. martindigman.com actually. Free ad.
I'm shocked that was your first modeling gig. I could have sworn that Lululemon was going to hit you up before anybody else.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say a first modeling gig, but like actually in the
secondary career. Is that what we're seeing unfold right in front of our very eyes?
I mean, they say you need 7 different sources of income to be a millionaire, right? So I guess it could be awesome. One of them, right?
Yes, Austin. Oh man, I'm waiting on it, bro. I'll be honest, I'm waiting on it. So we got TBT coming up this summer. We got some Martin Digman stuff coming up. What else do you have on your plate lately? What else can you tell the Jays fans about, what you've been up to?
Got 2 classes left of my master's of finance, finishing up the certificate for financial modeling evaluation. Just finish up his tech venture fund out of San Francisco. Majority of that portfolio was based in space investments, which was great. Opened my mind to a lot. Now just kind of, trying to finish up what I got to finish up here and just kind of take care of home. Had a lot of personal stuff going on. So just kind of cleaning that up, man, and growing up a little bit.
Well, aren't we all? Aren't we all trying to at the very
Right.
least,
Yeah, you know how it goes.
bro? You just got to remember the fans are always gonna have your back. We have one of the best fan bases in the nation for sure. I'm always gonna have your back, bro. I'm your brother for
I
life. Don't you
appreciate you.
ever forget it. I appreciate you taking time out to step into the gym with me one more again, bro. It's always love when I see you when we get to catch up and all that stuff. So I appreciate you so much, brother.
Appreciate you as well, man.
Everybody else, make sure to like and subscribe to the Field of 68 Media Network. I'm gonna keep pressing it. You guys gotta follow us. You guys gotta like our content. You gotta subscribe for sure. You guys keep listening. I'm gonna for sure keep talking. This was Austin Chatman, our 12th guest of season number 2. Any last words that you want to say to anybody out there, Austin?
Not much. We just appreciate all of you, the Jays fans. Absolutely. Road Jays. Hope to see you this summer. Just keep supporting those boys. It's going to be a tough up and down year, but you just keep giving that support and that'll build confidence.
100%, bro.
Road Jays.
You heard it from you. You heard it from Austin. I was going to say, as always, be safe, everyone, and go Jays.